Under the canopy of an ancient tree, where sunlight flickers through the gaps in the leaves, there is a moment of stillness when the world seems to hold its breath to whisper a secret. You were not born to chase the radiance of others. Like a river that cares not for the ocean, like a breeze that sings its own melody, you were created to bloom in the garden of your own soul. But in the clamor of a noisy world, where invisible standards press you to compare, can you hear that sacred call? The call to return to yourself, to plant seeds, to grow, to live fully in the light that only you possess? Pause, O seeking soul, and let me tell you the story of how a tiny seed found the strength to rise into a mighty tree. Beneath the weathered branches of an old oak by a misty morning path, where the first rays of dawn sparkle like whispers of the earth, there is a moment when time seems to stand still. In that space, amid the cheerful chirping of sparrows and the cool breath of dawn, a simple yet profound truth quietly reveals itself. You were not born to chase the brilliance of others. Like a river indifferent to the sea, like a breeze singing its own song, you were created to bloom in the garden of your own soul. But in the rush of life, where invisible measures weigh heavy on your shoulders, where voices from the outside threaten to drown the rhythm of your heart, can you still hear that call? The call to return to yourself, to plant seeds, to grow, to live fully in the light that only you possess? Let me tell you the story of a tiny seed, resting quietly beneath the cold soil of winter. It did not know what it would become, a sturdy oak or a delicate wildflower. Yet within it burned a fierce life, a promise that if it dared to push through the darkness, it would find the light. Your life, though it has passed through countless autumns of falling leaves and winters of frost, is like that seed. There have been years when you ran, searched, and tried to become what the world told you to be. There have been long nights when you looked back, wondering if you were on the right path, if you were living as the person you were meant to be. Those questions, those moments of doubt, are not signs of failure. They are the call of your soul, a reminder that your garden still awaits your care. In the tree-lined streets of a small town or amid the towering skyscrapers aglow with city lights, you may have paused at a fleeting moment of ordinary life. The laughter of a child on a bicycle, the warm gaze of a stranger in a grocery store, or simply the steady rhythm of your breath as you sit quietly with a morning coffee. Those moments, small but sacred, are invitations to return. Not to a place, but to yourself, to the dreams that once burned brightly in your chest, to the simple joys you once cherished, to the version of you that no one can replicate. The world out there, with its invisible rankings, its praise and criticism, its glossy images on screens, will always try to pull you away. It will tell you that happiness lies in a bigger house, a shinier title, a life edited to perfection. But the truth, like sunlight piercing through the leaves, is never complicated. Happiness is standing firm in your own soil, planting seeds of faith, and letting them bloom in the way only you can. Think of the garden behind your house, where weeds push through cracks in stone, or where tiny flowers rise from dry earth. They do not ask if they are more beautiful than the flower beside them. They do not compare their height to the oak or their brilliance to the rose. They simply exist. They reach upward. They live. So it is with you. Though life has etched scars upon you, though years have left wrinkles on your brow or unanswered questions in your heart, you still carry an unquenchable life within. It is the light placed in you from the moment you first cried, a light no winter can dim, no storm can extinguish. But that garden, the garden of your soul, needs your care. It needs you to stop looking at other gardens, those manicured to show off their splendor, those that seem to bloom endlessly without ever wilting. What you see, in the edited photos online or the success stories retold, is only a fragment of the picture. Behind those vibrant flowers may lie sleepless nights, silent tears, or wounds no one sees. You do not need to become them, nor match their rhythm. Your path, with its twists, its sunny days, and rainy spells, was drawn for you alone. And every step you take, however slow or difficult, brings you closer to the truest version of yourself. As the sunset falls, gilding the path that leads home, let your heart grow still. Let the noise of the world, the comparisons, the expectations, the measurements, dissolve like mist before the light. You do not need to be anyone but yourself. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone but yourself. Take a small shovel, step into the garden of your soul, and begin planting seeds of faith, of forgiveness, of dreams you once set aside. You may not see them sprout tomorrow, but trust that beneath the soil, life is quietly growing. And one day, when you least expect it, your garden will bloom, not to compete with anyone, but to remind you that you have always been enough, always worthy, always a marvel of creation. The story of that tiny seed is not yet finished. It waits for you, right where the sunlight touches the earth, right where your heart begins to listen. Are you ready to step forward, to plant new seeds, to let your garden tell its own story? On the winding path leading home, as the sunset gives way to the first stars twinkling in the sky, there is a quiet moment when the world seems to want to tell you a truth. The light of others can never extinguish the fire within you. But at life's crossroads, where distorted mirrors reflect the images of others, have you ever felt your heart sink, as if someone else's joy is proof that you are not enough? That is not the truth. That is the trap of comparison. A cold wind slipping through the cracks of your soul, snuffing out the flame you carry and obscuring the path meant only for you. Your story, the one that began the moment you stood before your own garden, does not end as the sunset fades. It continues, with each heartbeat, with every breath you take. But when you turn your eyes from your own soil, when you begin to gaze at distant fields adorned with vibrant flowers and lush trees, a silent shadow creeps in. You see the neighbor with a pristine new house, their eyes sparkling as they show off a gleaming car. You scroll through your phone, where perfect smiles and luxurious vacations fill every frame. You hear of an old friend who just got promoted, who built a family everyone admires. And then, like an invisible blade, a sharp question cuts through your heart. Why not me? What did I do wrong? But pause for a moment, right where the first star meets your eyes. What you see, those dazzling fields, is not the whole story. They are like postcards, carefully curated, edited to show only the brightest angles. Behind the neighbor's sparkling eyes may be sleepless nights worrying about bills. Behind the perfect smile on your screen are days of wrestling with loneliness. Behind your friend's success are failures no one mentions, wounds hidden behind closed doors. You do not see the storms they weathered, the rough roads they walked. And when you compare your land, with its imperfect corners, its buds still unfolding, with their postcard, you unwittingly dismiss your own beauty. Comparison is a whirlwind, not as loud as a storm, but strong enough to sweep you from your own center. It whispers that you are behind, that you are lacking, that another's light shines brighter than your flame. It makes you forget the days you bravely walked through darkness, the times you stood up when your legs trembled, the moments you found joy in small things. A warm family dinner, a quiet morning with a favorite book, or a genuine smile from a close friend. Those moments, the small stones you've stacked to build your path, are proof that you are not lesser. They are your stars, shining in a way no one can replicate. Slow your steps, right here on this path where the crickets begin to play their nighttime symphony. Notice the rhythm of your heart, a rhythm that need not be faster or stronger than anyone else's. Comparison does not just steal your joy, it steals you. It makes you doubt the value of the scars you bear, the dreams you've held, the steps you've courageously taken. It tricks you into thinking another's path is straighter, easier, more desirable. But the truth, like the brightest star in the sky, never lies. Your path, with its turns and its rough patches, was drawn for you. It does not need to resemble anyone else's to be meaningful. There are nights when the light from your neighbor's window spills out, and you may feel your heart sink, as if they are living a story you missed. There are days when you read of someone achieving what you once dreamed of, and a quiet emptiness creeps in. But that is not a sign that you are not enough. It is only a sign that you stand at a crossroads where you can choose to keep looking outward, letting the whirlwind of comparison carry you away, or to return to your own land where your flowers await your care. You do not need to be the neighbor with the new house. You do not need to be the old friend with a glittering title. You only need to be you, the one who carries a unique flame, a story no one else can tell. As night falls and the stars begin to share their own tales, let your heart grow still. Release the distorted mirror of comparison, the one that shows only scattered pieces of others. Take up your own torch, kindled by the days you persevered, the dreams you haven't abandoned, the moments you found light in the darkness. This winding path, the one that carries you through life's seasons, is not a race. It is a journey, and every step you take is a declaration that you are enough, that your flame still burns, that your story is still being written. That story, the story of a fire that never fades, awaits your continuation. Right where the starlight touches your heart, right where you choose to return to yourself, a new chapter begins. Are you ready to step past the trap of comparison and find the light that is yours alone? When night spreads its velvet blanket over the winding path and the chorus of crickets weaves gentle melodies into the darkness, there is a moment when all things seem to pause to listen to the beating of your heart. There, in the stillness of earth and sky, a quiet truth shines like an old oil lamp in a wooden cabin. You do not need to wear any mask to be loved, to be valued, to live. You only need to be yourself, unedited, unpainted, unhidden, and that is the greatest strength you possess. The trap of comparison, with its cold whirlwinds, may have made you doubt your own light. But right now, at this crossroads, you are invited to step through that darkness, to stand firm in your own truth, and to discover that living authentically is not just freedom. It is a sacred breeze that fans the flame of your soul. Your story, the one that began with footsteps on this path, does not end when you realize that the glittering postcards of others are mere illusions. It continues with every choice you make to return to your own soil. But the world out there, with its stage lights and ceaseless applause, will always try to hand you a mask to smile when your heart is heavy, a mask to nod in agreement when your heart says no, a mask to become the person your colleagues, friends, or even family expect, but not you, not the real you with your burning dreams, your scars that tell your story, your simple joys that only you understand. Those masks, though gilded or adorned with perfect smiles, come at a cost. They stifle your breath, dimming the light you were created to shine. Step into the old wooden cabin by the path, where the oil lamp still burns steadily through seasons of rain and sun. In its soft glow, you can see the traces of your life. The days you tried to be someone else, the times you set aside your dreams to please another, the moments you stood before a mirror and wondered if you still recognized yourself. There were years when you wore ill-fitting clothes, chasing a perfect version of yourself painted by the world. The leader who never tires, the parent who never errs, the friend always ready to listen even when their own heart was breaking. But each time you wore that mask, a part of you, the true, radiant part, forged in the storms you survived, was pushed deeper into the shadows. And then, one day, you realize the mask does not protect you. It only pulls you further from yourself. Living authentically is a quiet rebellion, like an oil lamp refusing to flicker out despite the cold wind. It needs no applause, no spotlight, no recognition from crowded stands. It only needs you to dare to stand, to shed the layers you've worn too long, and to let your true light shine. It is the light of the days you persevered, though your hands trembled as you rewrote your dreams on worn paper. It is the light of the times you said no, with gentle resolve, choosing your own path over the one others drew. It is the light of the moments you laughed loudly in a small kitchen, not because anyone was watching, but because your heart was full of joy. Those moments, however small, are proof that you do not need to be anyone but yourself, and that is enough to move the heavens and the earth. When you step out of the cabin, carrying the light of the oil lamp, you will see that living authentically is not just a gift to yourself. It is an invitation, a gentle breeze stirring other souls. There are people, the colleague who quietly admires your sincerity, the friend who finds courage in your truth, the young niece or nephew who learns that worth lies not in others' praise, who will be inspired by your light. You do not need to stand on a podium or have thousands of followers. You only need to walk with an open heart, with steady steps on your own path, and the world will feel that strength. The power of one who dares to live truly lies not in loud echoes but in quiet persistence, like an oil lamp burning through seasons of wind. But I will not say this path is easy. There will be days when you feel alone, when familiar faces turn away because you no longer wear the mask they expect. There will be nights when you wonder if you were wrong to choose the road less traveled. There will be moments when you're tempted to pick up the old mask just to feel safe in the crowd. But each time you choose to live truly, each time you speak your truth, each time you embrace your scars as medals of courage, you grow stronger. Not stronger in the world's way, with titles or dazzling lights, but stronger like the oil lamp, small, steadfast, and never ceasing to burn, no matter how thick the darkness. As the moonlight begins to hover over the path, silvering the wild grasses by the wayside, let your heart grow still. Take up your own lamp, kindled by the days you overcame, by the dreams you haven't abandoned, by the moments you found yourself amid life's rush. Living authentically is not about becoming perfect. It is about being present, daring to show up with all that you are, even if your hands shake, even if your voice falters. It is saying, "I am me," without apology, without explanation. And when you do that, you will see that this path, the one that carries you through life's seasons, is not just a journey to find yourself. It is a journey to leave a mark, to light the way for other souls, to remind them that each person is a lamp created to shine in their own way. Your story, the story of a lamp that never fades, still waits for you to write. Right where the moonlight touches your steps, right where you choose to shed the mask, a new chapter is opening. Are you ready to walk forward with your own lamp, to light the path meant only for you? As the wild grasses by the winding path sway gently in the night breeze, and the silver light of the sky begins to fade before dawn, there is a moment when the world seems to draw inward, leaving space for the whisper of your own voice. Not the loud clamor of busy days, not the echo of piled-up expectations, but the gentle, deep rhythm that rises only when you dare to step into stillness. Living true to yourself, like the lamp you chose to light in the darkness, is a journey full of meaning. But to keep that lamp burning steadily, to find your heart's steady beat amid life's rush, you need a sanctuary, not in towering buildings or dazzling crowds, but in the stillness of your soul, where you can hear the truth about yourself. Your story, the one that carried you through the crossroads of comparison and the courageous moments of shedding masks, does not end when you stand firm in your own light. It continues with every step you take on this winding path, where the first light of day begins to trace delicate outlines on the ground. But the world out there, with its blaring horns, its endless notifications, its calls to do more, to become greater, will always try to fill every moment of silence. It will tell you that stillness is a luxury, that if you pause, you'll be left behind. It will make you believe that every idle moment is wasted. But the truth, like the first light of dawn, is never rushed. In stillness, you do not lose time. You find yourself. Step into a moment, right here on this path, where the breeze hums softly through the low trees. In that space, you may realize that your life has been filled with noise. The noise of days spent racing through packed schedules, from one meeting to the next, from one duty to another. The noise of moments standing in a crowd, smiling though your heart was empty, hearing praise that felt like it belonged to someone else. The noise of nights lying awake, your mind spinning with questions. Have I done enough? Am I on the right path? That noise, though once a familiar companion, pulled you from your own center. It made you forget that deep within, you have a rhythm all your own, one that need not be faster, louder, or like anyone else's. Stillness is not escape. It is an act of courage, like opening a window on an early morning to let fresh air flood a stuffy room. It is the moment you sit with an old notebook, writing trembling lines about what truly matters to you. It is the instant you stand on your porch, hearing the rustle of leaves and feeling your breath merge with the rhythm of the world. Those moments, however small, are where you find clarity. They are where you hear your heart's voice, not the voice of fear or pressure, but the voice of truth, of dreams, of the faith that you have always been enough, even on the days you doubted yourself. There were days when you ran, when you tried to fill every gap with work, with endless conversations, with new goals to prove your worth. There were years when you thought stillness was a sign of failure, that if you weren't busy, you weren't important. But when you slowed down, when you dare to let the world spin without racing to keep up, you will see that stillness is not emptiness. It is a door to the answers you've sought. Why you are here, what makes your heart sing, who you were created to be. In stillness, you do not just find peace. You find the strength to walk with steady feet, with an open heart, with a light no one can extinguish. Notice the small moments in your day when the world seems to slow. The sound of water in the kitchen as you wash dishes, the warmth of a teacup in your hands on a quiet afternoon, or the gentle light of dawn slipping through your window. Those moments are not mere pauses. They are invitations to return to yourself. They remind you that you do not need to shout to be heard nor run to be seen. You only need to be present, right here, right now, and listen. Listen to the beat of your heart, to the dreams you set aside, to the truth that your path, though not as dazzling as city lights, was drawn for you. But I will not say stillness comes easily. There are days when the world's noise will drown it out, with notifications, calls, reminders that you must do more. There are nights when sitting with yourself feels unsettling, when old questions rise again, when stillness seems too vast to face. But each time you choose to enter that moment, each time you turn off the screen, set down the phone, or simply close your eyes and breathe, you are building a sanctuary in your soul, a place no storm can touch, a place where you can stand firm though the world spins wildly. Stillness is not a destination. It is a journey, a practice, a promise that every moment you give to yourself brings you closer to peace. As the first light of dawn begins to paint the path with delicate lines and the birds sing a welcome to the new day, let your heart grow still. Take the key of stillness, forged from the days you persevered, from the moments you dared to stand quiet amid life's rush. Stillness is not a luxury. It is power. It is how you find your own rhythm, how you wash away the world's dust to see your light clearly. And when you do that, you will see that this path, the one that carries you through life's seasons, is not just a journey to find yourself. It is a journey to discover that, in stillness, you do not just find peace, you find a new strength, a new light, a new path. Your story, the story of a rhythm that never stops, still waits for you to write. Right where the dawn touches your steps, right where you choose to step into stillness, a new chapter is opening. Are you ready to stand still, to listen, and to let your heart lead the way? Your footsteps touch the winding path, where the first light of day scatters golden flecks across the ground, and the bird's song echoes like a hymn of hope. In that moment, amid the tranquil space where earth and sky meet, a simple yet profound truth emerges like water flowing through stone. You are sacred soil, created to plant, to nurture, to bloom in a way only you can. Finding stillness, as you have in those quiet moments of listening, opens the door to hearing your own heartbeat. But to let your light shine enduringly, to make your path a story worth telling, you must tend that soil. Not with haste or comparison, but with patient hands, with an open heart, like a gardener who trusts in the coming season of flowers. Your story, the one that carried you through the crossroads of comparison, the brave moments of living truly, and the quiet times of finding yourself, does not end when you pause to listen. It continues with every decision you make to nurture your own soil. But the world out there, with its demands to achieve more, to move faster, will always push you to run, as if your worth lies in what you display to the crowd. It will tell you that your soil is only valuable if it blooms instantly, if it dazzles like the fields praised in glossy postcards. But the truth, like a stream quietly nourishing the riverbed, is never rushed. Growing yourself is not a race to show off color, but a journey of care, a promise that every seed you plant today will blossom in time. Step into a moment, right here on this path, where the early light filters through the branches, casting patterns of shadow and shine on the ground. In that space, you can see your soil, the soil marked by the years you've lived. There are barren patches where you forgot to water while chasing dreams that weren't yours. There are thorny weeds grown from days when bitterness or doubt crept in. But there are also tiny green shoots, the dreams you planted, the moments you persevered, though your hands trembled as you pulled weeds or turned the earth. That soil, though imperfect, is yours, and it holds the potential to become a vibrant field, not to compete with others, but to tell your own story. Tending this soil does not require you to have all the answers or to achieve great feats by tomorrow. It only asks you to be present with the patience of a gardener who knows flowers do not bloom overnight. It is the moment you sit with an old book, letting its pages awaken your mind after years of busyness. It is the instant you step outside, feeling your feet touch the earth and your breath blend with the air, reminding you that this body is your only home. It is the days you write a small line, a note of gratitude for simple things, a warm breakfast, a heartfelt conversation, a moment when your heart felt lighter. Those actions, however small, are seeds you plant, water you pour, proof that you are building a field of your own. There were years when you thought growing meant giant leaps, a new job, a grand achievement, a change that turned heads. There were days when you looked at your soil with its untamed corners and wondered if you were moving too slowly, falling behind. But pause, right where the morning light touches your shoulder. Your soil does not need to resemble any other field. It does not need to bloom on anyone's schedule. Each time you choose forgiveness over resentment, each time you learn something new, even a single phrase, each time you rise after a weary day and still believe in tomorrow, you are planting, you are growing. And those tiny shoots, however small, are signs that your soil is alive, breathing, carrying the promise of a flowering season. Tending this soil also means daring to pull up weeds, to dig deep and clear the stones of fear or doubt. There are old habits, days you delayed dreams for fear of failure, times you let others' opinions drown your own voice that must be left behind. There are environments, relationships that once made you shrink, that need pruning to give your soil room to breathe. Those choices are not easy. There are moments when you'll feel alone as you say goodbye to the familiar, but each time you dare to do so, you make space for new shoots, for new dreams, for a version of you that is stronger, truer, more radiant. And as you tend your soil, you do not plant for yourself alone. Every shoot you nurture, every flower you let bloom, is a gift to those who cross your path. It is the colleague who sees you stand firm and finds courage to chase their own dreams. It is the child or grandchild who sees you live with an open heart and learns that worth lies not in the world's applause. It is the stranger who, in a fleeting moment, feels the light from your field and finds hope to carry on. Your soil, when tended with love and patience, becomes a sanctuary, not just for you, but for other souls seeking light. The morning light rises higher, scattering warm gold across the path, and the bird's song rings out like an invitation to keep walking. Take your own hand, the hand that is planted through so many seasons, the hand marked by the days you persevered. Growing yourself is not about running faster or achieving more. It is about tending your soil day by day, moment by moment, with the faith that every seed you plant will bloom in its own way. And when you do that, you will see that this path, the one that carries you through life's seasons, is not just a journey to find yourself. It is a journey to leave a vibrant field, a living story, a testament that you have lived, planted, and bloomed. Your story, the story of soil that never stops living, still waits for you to write. Right where the morning light touches your hand, right where you choose to tend your soil, a new chapter is opening. Are you ready to plant new seeds, to let your field tell its own story? Your footsteps are steady on the winding path, where the early light has given way to a deep blue sky, and the bird's song blends with the breath of the earth. In that moment, in the vast space where you feel the warmth of life, a sacred truth rises like a lighthouse guiding you through the sea. You are a unique creation, crafted by God's hands with boundless love, and your journey, with every turn, every fork, was drawn by Him to lead you to your own light. Tending your soil, as you've learned through patient planting, is a beautiful journey. But to walk with a fearless heart, to stand firm though storms may come, you must place absolute trust in God, the one who called your name before your first cry, the one who never abandons you, no matter how dark the path. Your story, the one that carried you through days of overcoming comparison, living truly, finding stillness, and planting with love, does not end as you stand before your field. It continues with every step you take, carrying the faith that this path is not random. But the world out there, with its voices of doubt, its pressures to control everything, will always try to convince you that you must draw your own map, fight every storm alone. It will say that faith is weakness, that you are only worthy when you achieve everything yourself. But the truth, like a lighthouse standing firm through countless storms, never wavers. You do not walk alone. God, who created you, placed in you a light that cannot be extinguished, and He is guiding you through every turn, every valley, with unshakable love. Step into a moment right here on this path, where the blue sky stretches wide like arms embracing you. In that space, you can see your journey. A journey marked by days you rose after failure, moments you found joy despite pain, quiet prayers when you felt God's presence. There were days you doubted, wondering if this path led anywhere, if the struggles you faced had meaning. There were nights you felt lost, like a ship adrift at sea with no shore in sight. But each time you placed your trust in God, each time you whispered, "Lord, guide me," you found a lighthouse, not to banish every storm, but to remind you that He is there, leading you through the dark. Trusting your journey does not mean every question will be answered, or every hardship will vanish. It is the faith that God drew this path with purpose, that every step you take, however slow, however painful, is part of a larger picture He is weaving. It is the moment you stand at the family table, feeling love however imperfect, and trust that God is using those moments to heal you. It is the instant you open an old Bible, letting its words comfort your heart like an old friend. It is the days you step out, carrying a small prayer, and feel a strength not your own, but from the one who calls you His beloved. Those moments, however simple, are proof that you do not need to carry the world. You only need to trust and let God lead. There were years when you tried to control everything, thinking faith was a reward for when things were settled. There were days when you looked at others, with lives that seemed smooth, with success stories retold, and wondered if God forgot you. But pause, right where the blue sky touches your heart. Your journey need not resemble anyone else's. God did not create you to walk their path, nor to carry their light. He created you to be you, with scars that tell a story of resilience, with dreams that reflect His love, with a path carved just for you. And each time you trust in Him, you are saying, I believe you know the way, though I cannot see the destination. Trusting God absolutely also means letting go of what no longer belongs to you. There are old dreams, plans you clung to, expectations you carried, that need to be placed in His hands. There are pains, resentments that held you back, that need to be surrendered for Him to heal. Those choices are not easy. There are moments when you'll tremble as you let go, like a ship casting anchor in open water. But each time you do, you open your heart to what God has prepared. New dreams, new paths, new moments of light only He can bring. That trust, that absolute faith in God's love and plan, is the lighthouse guiding you through every storm, the strength that holds you steady though the world may shake. And when you trust your journey, you do not walk for yourself alone. Each step you take, with faith in God, is a lighthouse for others. It is the companion who sees you pray through hardship and finds courage to believe. It is your child watching you live with trust and learning that life has meaning beyond what eyes can see. It is the stranger who, in a fleeting moment, feels the light of your faith and finds hope to carry on. Your journey, when led by God, becomes a living testament that He never abandons His children, that every path, however rugged, leads to His light. The blue sky grows brighter, embracing the path like a promise of a new day, and the bird's song rises like a hymn praising God's love. Take your own heart, the heart touched by Him through countless seasons, the heart marked by faith. Trusting your journey is not about knowing every destination, but believing that God is leading you, step by step, moment by moment. And when you do that, you will see that this path, the one that carries you through life's seasons, is not just a journey to find yourself. It is a journey to live in God's love, a testament that you are His beloved, created to shine His light. Your story, the story of a faith that never fades, still waits for you to write. Right where the blue sky touches your steps, right where you choose to place your trust in God, a new chapter is opening. Are you ready to walk forward with a heart full of trust, to let God lead you to His light? Your footsteps leave their mark on the winding path, where the deep blue sky now glows with the golden-orange hues of sunset, and the bird's song mingles with the breeze like a hymn of gratitude to the earth. In that moment, amid the radiant space where the day's last light embraces you, a sacred truth shines like a clear stream flowing from a mountaintop. You are God's beloved, created to live, to love, to shine His light in the ordinary moments of life. Your journey, through days of overcoming comparison, living truly, finding stillness, planting, and placing absolute trust in God, has brought you to this crossroads, where you not only find yourself, but hear a sacred call. Rise, walk, and let your life become a living hymn, resounding with the love and purpose God has placed in you. Your story, the one that carried you through life's seasons with all its highs and lows, does not end as you stand before this radiant sunset. It continues with every decision you make today, right now, to live fully in the light God has given you. The world out there, with its noise of doubt, its pressures to be perfect, may make you hesitate, may make you think your small actions cannot make a difference. But the truth, like a stream that flows unceasingly, though only a trickle, is never small. Every step you take, every word you speak, every act you do with a heart turned to God is a precious stone in the tapestry of life He is weaving. Step into a moment, right here on this path, where the sunset paints warm patterns on the ground. In that space, you can see your life, not as a series of flaws or failures, but as a tapestry woven from threads of perseverance, faith, and love. There were days you fell, but you rose, carrying a quiet prayer. There were moments you felt small, but you chose to live truly, letting your light touch another. There were nights you were lost, but you found God who led you through the dark. That tapestry, with all its light and shadow, is proof that you have lived, and you still have the chance to weave new, brighter threads with the faith that God walks with you. The call today is not to run faster, achieve more, or become someone else. It is an invitation to rise, right where you stand, and act with a heart full of trust. It is the moment you open your door, greet a neighbor with a genuine smile, and let God's love flow through you. It is the instant you pick up a pen, write down a dream you once set aside, and trust that God will guide you step by step. It is the days you sit quietly in a corner, praying for someone in need of light, and feel that your prayer is a sacred gift. Those actions, however simple, are how you let your life sing a hymn, not for the world's applause, but for God's smile, because you have lived true to the light He gave. There were years when you waited, thinking the perfect moment would come before you began. There were days when you wondered if you had enough strength, enough talent, enough time to do something meaningful. But pause, right where the sunset touches your heart. God does not call you because you are perfect. He calls you because you are His child. He does not ask you to carry the world. He only invites you to carry your light moment by moment, day by day. Each time you choose to act, whether a loving word, a small deed, or a bold step, you are weaving another thread into your tapestry, letting your stream flow into the greater river of God's love. And when you act with faith, you do not live for yourself alone. Every smile you share, every dream you pursue, every prayer you offer is a drop of water refreshing other souls. It is the colleague who sees you live with faith and finds hope to overcome hardship. It is the young child who watches you walk with trust and learns that life is a gift from God. It is the stranger who, in a fleeting moment, feels the light from your heart and remembers they too are loved. Your life, when lived with love and faith in God, becomes a stream, small but ever-flowing, bringing life wherever it goes. The sunset grows brighter, draping the path in a golden-orange cloak, a reminder that every day is a chance to begin again. Take your own light, the light God kindled through countless seasons, the light marked by faith and love. The call today is to live truly, to live lovingly, to live with the faith that God is leading you, that every step you take is part of a greater plan He has drawn. And when you do that, you will see that this path, the one that carries you through life's seasons, is not just a journey to find yourself. It is a journey to leave a radiant tapestry, a stream that never stops flowing, a hymn resounding that you have lived, loved, and shown God's light. Your story, the story of a light that never fades, still waits for you to write, right where the sunset touches your steps, right where you choose to rise and act with faith. A new chapter is opening. Are you ready to walk forward with a heart full of love, to let your life become God's hymn?